I blew everything up. Keith Urban's confession crashed down like a hammer against the once perfect image the world had adored. When he first met Nicole Kidman in 2005, it felt as if destiny itself had brought them together. Nicole, newly emerging from her high-profile marriage with Tom Cruise, carried both wounds and a deep yearning for peace. Keith, a rising country star, charming yet humble, made her heart tremble from the first moment. They married in 2006 in a lavish ceremony, becoming the living symbol of perfection and unbreakable love. But behind the radiant smiles and the bright stage lights, distance pressure and flawed decisions began to erode the foundation of their relationship. When they publicly split in 2025, few knew the story hid far more devastating secrets. Rumors of Keith's alleged affairs nights spent apart, filled with suspicion and a mysterious $11 million contract. What exactly had Keith Urban done to shatter this relationship forever? What did he confess to? And could true love ever survive in Hollywood? On September 30th, 2025, Nicole Kidman filed for divorce after 19 years of marriage. An unexpected blow to the public. But for her, it was inevitable. The years that once seemed strong suddenly crumbled under the silent pressure of distance, irreconcilable differences, and the heavy quiet that settled over every dinner, every trip, every shared silence. She had been patient to the point of believing things could still be mended. But eventually, she realized the cruel truth could no longer be denied, evaded, or hidden, and she had to act to protect herself and her children. The details of their marriage will be told later, but first, let us turn to Keith Urban's chilling reactions after the divorce. Immediately after the divorce announcement, Keith Urban tore through the glittering facade of their once-admired relationship like an unexpected storm. On stage and in public, he openly admitted his mistakes, as though releasing both of them from the lies that had consumed them for years. I blew this marriage into pieces. No more restraint, no more perfect smiles on red carpets. Only the raw, painful truth remained. In the early days after the divorce became public, Urban's silence slowly turned into unsettling actions impossible to ignore. Tour schedules stretched on old songs were chosen and rearranged and even modified. Lyrics left people wondering whether he was sending hidden messages or merely spilling his emotional turmoil. Lyrics once meant for Nicole became the spark, igniting rumors of infidelity, calculated winks on stage moments where every spotlight sharpened the cracks already forming. Rumors about Maggie Ba, the young guitarist, began spreading. People whispered that she wasn't just a colleague, but someone with whom Urban found connection during stormy days. Her appearances at shows, combined with Keith's altered lyrics in The Fighter from Baby, I'll Be the Fighter to new emphasis directed at Maggie, felt like a silent public declaration, shaking the public to its core. Every gaze fell on him. Every murmur echoed in the hearts of fans who once adored the couple. But there were darker corners unseen. Those close to him said Urban was spiraling through an inner crisis, making controversial choices, not out of impulse alone, but from long-standing instability from conflicts. Nicole could never fully understand. His private Nashville house became his refuge, a place where he could express himself without the shadows of the past tightening around him. Only recently on November 10, 2025, exactly 2 months after the divorce filing, did Keith Urban finally speak out. Not through a spokesperson or a vague social media post, but in a live FM interview in Nashville. His voice trembled like a guitar string stretched past its limit. "I cheated," he said, staring straight into the camera without blinking. Not once, not with one person. Maggie was just the tip of the iceberg. I had multiple affairs in the final years moments when I thought I could escape myself. But the person I loved most was still Nicole. I loved her like an addict loves his last dose, even knowing it will kill him. The words fell like a ticking time bomb, and the studio went silent enough to hear the second hand of the clock. The host stammered while Urban let out a hollow laugh. "I'm not asking for forgiveness. I just want to tell the truth before it's twisted into tabloid crumbs." After the divorce, Urban continued to take on numerous performances as though the stage was the only drug strong enough to keep him standing. On a freezing October night at Ryman Auditorium in Nashville, young girl named Nicole, sharing the name of his ex-wife, held up a glittering sign, "I love you, Keith." The crowd roared, but Urban suddenly froze mid-core. He pretended to fall backward, hands raised like begging the heavens, then jumped up, laughing, the laugh echoing, but never reaching his red-rimmed eyes worn from sleepless nights and alcohol. After the show, he sat alone in the dressing room under harsh white fluorescent light. On the wall hung a family photo from 2015 Nicole holding Sunday, him holding Faith all smiling brightly beside a Christmas tree. He stared at it for a long time before slowly taking it down, placing it in a drawer, whispering, "I don't know who I am without the stage, but I'm no longer the husband Nicole needed. I've lost both." The prenuptial agreement still lingered, a cold reminder from 20 years prior, when Nicole, scarred from her divorce with Tom Cruise, insisted on a protective clause $600,000 per year for Keith if he remained faithful, totaling over $11 million after 19 years. Now it hung above him like a double-edged sword. If infidelity was proven in court, and with Urban's public confession, it seemed nearly inevitable he could lose all of it, perhaps even owe more. But Nicole demanded nothing. In a Nashville law office, she sat upright, her voice steady but resolute. "I don't want the money. I want peace for my daughters. Sunday is in high school. Faith is only 14. They shouldn't grow up in legal warfare." She sought primary custody 306 days a year, leaving Urban 59 days, enough for him to remain a father, to teach guitar, to take them to the park, but not enough to cause more harm. "I gave him my whole heart," she told her lawyer, eyes drifting toward the window where Nashville's drizzle fell softly. "Now I only need to keep what's left for my girls." November arrived, bringing cold to Nashville, seeping through alleys and across streets where country guitars still echoed. Urban released a new album, High and Lonesome, on November 14th, opening with The Road I Chose, a slow ballad whose lyrics felt like an unmasked confession. "I broke the vows I swore to keep. Now I'm walking alone in the dark. Her shadow follows me in my sleep, and every note is a question mark." Fans sobbed at the listening event, some shouting, "We forgive you, Keith," but he only bowed his head, whispering into the microphone, "This isn't to ask for forgiveness. This is an apology to the woman who saved me from myself, and I repaid her by destroying everything." Meanwhile, Nicole was at Paris Fashion Week dressed in a blazing red Balenciaga gown, her heels striking the runway like a heartbeat. Nicole held no hatred, only exhaustion. She closed her eyes, letting the distant music wash over her, remembering moments of joy, tenderness, and wounds she had endured. 19 years, she whispered to herself, enough to build an empire, enough to tear it down. Her heart was both strong and fragile, clinging to the peace she sought for her children. While Urban wandered between stage lights and darkness, confessing his sins and searching for redemption through melodies and lyrics, Urban knew that each night on stage, every gaze measured him, every note resurrected past mistakes. He wondered if he could ever reclaim the image of a man, a husband, or if he was now nothing more than a star suspended between lights and loneliness. Each song, each lyric was another confession, another public wound, yet also his only way to face himself, and Nicole, who remained somewhere far away where light and shadow intertwined, where memories clash with the present. So why did a marriage once seen as perfect, powerful, admired worldwide collapse so catastrophically between Nicole Kidman and Keith Urban? What secrets, what choices carved their way into their hearts, turning the brilliance of fame into ashes of sorrow? Let us turn back time to the beginning, where every tremor, every promise, every unfulfilled dream first sprouted, where tragedy remained hidden yet quietly grew. From her first marriage with Tom Cruise, Nicole Kidman had endured harsh emotional trials. At 23, she was too young, too inexperienced, and somewhat dependent on Tom for major decisions. For years, she believed her love for him was mad. willing to follow him to the ends of the earth, but later admitted she had been naive and easily hurt. Their 2001 divorce delivered a deep emotional shock. She once confessed that even an Oscar couldn't feel the loneliness inside her. After the divorce, Nicole faced a long period of healing. She learned that success and fame could never replace the need for safety, closeness, stability. Her experiences with Tom made her cautious, yet also left her longing for a partner who could offer peace after the storm. When she met Keith Urban in 2005, she sensed something different. They found each other at the G-Day USA Gala in Los Angeles. Though both Australian, they had never met at home. Their eyes met an inexplicable spark, as if two souls recognized each other in a foreign crowd. Nicole later recalled, "My heart skipped a beat in that moment. There was something peaceful yet magnetic about him." Keith smiled, nodding to a friend. "She's unlike anyone I've ever met. I don't know why, but I want to talk to her." After the event, Nicole gave him her number, but he remained silent for 4 months. H.